Welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 424 at scavengerlife.com.
And so we continuing saga of our lives.
Yep.
Something I don't think we mentioned, which was a big deal for us, something that we've been putting a lot of our time into, was we finished another of our rentals.
Yes.
One of these Airbnb rentals we did. We kind of finished.
We finished.
Yeah.
It's furnished.
Yep. And it is actually available for rent, which is a huge deal for us.
Starting Labor Day weekend.
Yep. So this is a 1 year. It took us 1 year. I think this might have been the fastest we've ever done it before.
It's actually the fastest. Now, it was just the top floor, the rental, and then downstairs there's 2 more floors that have to get started. But it is on Airbnb. I will link to it. People can look at it.
Yeah, and it's like we always talk about, it's like there's only so much time in the day any one or two people have.
Yeah.
And it definitely, this year has been one of those years where we're trying to balance keeping our eBay store going.
Right. Running 2 Airbnbs.
Yeah.
Doing another one.
And then doing another one, pouring money into it. But it's a big deal. I'll feel better when we get our first rental.
We have not gotten a rental yet.
But it's only been up for a week, so.
We're anxious.
But it's like we had said earlier, we hope that it's like a switch. We've like pulled the switch on this thing, and now this is an income generating property for the rest of our lives.
Till we're dead.
Yeah. However long that may be.
Yep.
May it be long.
Yep.
So it's a good thing. And our eBay store has just continued to kind of be on not really autopilot, but kind of autopilot for the past 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, I mean, I have been listing.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't been solid every single week, but I have we're about to take a trip right now, and I'm about to be listing on the train. So
yeah, we're getting this podcast in because we're about to hop on a train to New York City.
Yay!
Basically, we had talked about we took on a work contract for our career jobs.
Air quotes, Jay.
For 6 months.
Yeah.
So we're juggling this now, kind of like now that the rental's done, this is now going to be taking up our time, and we have to go do a face-to-face for a week. And the way I think about it, it's like it's recession-proof job. Kind of.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. Yeah.
We have plans for the money we're going to make from this job to kind of just protect ourselves if anything's on the ups and downs.
And, I mean, we've talked about this before. I like taking on contract jobs for our careers, in quotes.
Yeah, we do a video production.
Video production, right? So I like jumping back into that world every once in a while because I feel like I relearn a lot of stuff. And then I'm like, oh, yeah. I know how to do this stuff,
Yeah.
It's like a whole other world compared to eBay or Airbnb.
I mean, we talked about it before with, when people are like, oh, I'm going to quit. It's my job and do this full time, which, you
can
sell on eBay full time, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's not always an either or,
Right.
eBay for us is kind of like, I guess it's our security. It's ours. We have total control over our eBay store.
Right.
And the income we make, kind of. I mean, depending on what people buy. But then, so that means we're not dependent on a paycheck from someone else. Now, if someone wants to hire me at a rate that I set,
right,
awesome.
Which is what we're able to do because of our other...
But we are not... desperate where we have to take any work we can get and whatever they pay us. So it really is like giving power to it yourself having an eBay store.
Yeah, yeah,
it's
definitely.
FU money kind of thing.
It's so harsh. Such a harsh term.
It's a hard world out there.
Yeah.
And I know we had talked about in an earlier podcast about it's Reese Session that people talk about maybe coming.
Possible
or may
recession.
Not. You know what? I've been thinking about it. I think for all of us, like normal people, just kind of plebes.
Regulars.
We have no say in it. Like,
yeah, what do we have to do with it?
We all like get paid and we spend it. Like normal people, like we keep the economy going. It's whatever's happening way up above us, above our pay grade, with banks and investment people and factories. If they shut the money off, then that's when things go bad. People start to lose jobs and money and all that stuff. So That's why, like, the whole idea of like giving money to the rich people and it'll trickle down just does not work in my book. Give it to like normal working people, and they will spend the money in the right way. Okay.
That's just your opinion.
It is my opinion.
Yeah.
Thank you for this episode of The Economy.
Jay's Economy.
So we went to an auction.
Can we just say, number one, I know you're going to be like, okay, wait, hold on. We delivered a chair. It was really far away, much further than we realized.
Right. We sold a chair on eBay.
Yeah.
And the person, it said free pickup. And the person's like, great, send it to me for free. And we're like, no, that's not how it works. So she basically wanted to cancel.
Which we didn't want because it was $350.
And it's kind of in our area.
It's the next state over.
Basically, I didn't want to not have that sale. So I said, pay us
$120, I think it was.
$20 and we'll bring it to you. It turned out it's actually not that far as the crow flies. But the problem is between Virginia and Maryland is a Chesapeake Bay. So
right, that's kind of in the way.
We had to drive all the way around.
Well, it was the eastern shore of Maryland, right? Yeah. Is that what they call it? Yeah. And, we're like, oh, it's in Maryland. Yeah, okay.
Way down.
It's literally 5.5 hours away. Yeah. One way.
Anyway, the point is, we were determined.
We were like, we're doing this.
It wasn't that efficient, but that's what you do as a scavenger. We got her the chair, and then we stayed overnight by an auction that was happening the very next day.
And we went to the auction. So it actually made sense. It was like, we went there, and I will say this, the Eastern Shore of Maryland is a place I've never been to, and I thought it was beautiful. I was like, what is this part of Maryland? It's so weird. It's like Cape Cod, only there are farms everywhere. Can someone explain that to me? Okay, so then we looped around, and so we made it work. It wasn't like, oh my God, we just drove for 10 hours.
Right.
So I'm just saying, we were efficient.
It was a beautiful drive.
Yeah.
We had a great time together.
We did. It was an adventure.
And we went to an auction, and it was great. And it happened to be, we can't ever gauge when an auction is going to be good. And this happened to be good for us. Like, we only spent $313.
I'm like, look, the last time we went to this auction, we turned around and left because we were like, there's nothing here.
I had to stop myself from buying
because we filled up the truck after $300.
I had to stop probably 30% into the auction because I was buying too much stuff because there were such great deals.
The auction starts at 10. By 11:30, we were done.
And our truck completely... like Beverly Hillbillies. Totally
Sanford and Sons.
Over the cab, strapped in. And we're still going through stuff now. So
yeah, it was... Those are the times that I love, because those are the times where I'm like, there's lots of good stuff here. There's some stuff... I actually left some stuff behind. I was like, this is truly not worth my time.
Because when we're buying... Because, again, if people don't understand how we buy at auctions, we go there and they sell table or box lots.
Here's a table.
It's it's buying a whole bunch of stuff at one time for one price.
Right.
And very often... sometimes it'll go for $200 or $300 for the table. This time it was going for $20.
Oh, just and like
people didn't.
There was a set of mid-century chairs that I would kill for. They weren't in great shape. They were $5. It was like great. Yeah. Those are my prices right there.
Yeah, it was good. And so that's when things like that happen. We always drive home and we're like, we need a bigger vehicle.
We need a box truck. What is going on with this? But then it's like, how often am I going to use a box truck, really?
It's just
and you can never tell with the auctions. It's like the other time we drove there and we were like, if we had rented a box truck, we'd be like, okay, great.
I think after an auction, we always have that high of the auction,
especially.
Especially.
I need a nap.
But the reality is, it's just, I don't think we can handle more stuff.
We can't handle more. No.
That's when you really have to be like, buy a box truck, have like 5 people who work for you.
People are packing for you.
If you need like a warehouse 3 times as big as what we have, that's the kind of, it's volume that is possible to buy.
I mean,
and that's not the volume that I want.
The other thing is, like, we bought a couple more tables of, like, glass and china. And there's some high-end stuff. There's high-end stuff in there for sure. Like, we looked it up. But then we're like, Jesus, where are we going to put this in our storage? Like,
I can find a place.
It's like another shelf of porcelain.
I think we do.
I sell that stuff, though.
I know. I mean, we wouldn't buy this stuff.
I mean, that's the crazy thing to me. I mean, one of the things I sold this week was one of those wacky things I almost left behind. That was porcelain.
Yep.
You know?
Okay, something we've all been talking about in its forum is managed payments.
Oh my God.
This eBay's its new program. They're going to basically cut PayPal out and just have their own payment system.
Not fully, because PayPal will be a payment option, but it's eBay's payment system.
Right. And so that way people can pay just through their credit card or Apple Pay, and I guess all kinds of different ways, including PayPal. I
just want to say, if you do any other e-commerce like Airbnb or VRBO or Amazon, they do direct deposits into your bank account. And that's basically what this is going to be.
Right. So I only bring it up is because people are getting these notices from eBay saying, like, you know, it's managed payments is here. Please opt in. And if you don't, we will make you do it
eventually
at a time in the future.
Right.
I think we all agreed it will probably be, and we don't know at all. Just
don't quote us on this.
I'm the plebe down on the ground. I think it's going to be they'll force everyone to do it in this. In a year, like a next
summer,
of 2020.
Right.
So I think it'd be crazy if they force everyone to do it during the holidays.
Oh my God! Well,
but my question is this, and I don't think either of us know, but I'm just throwing it out there. What is the day-to-day interaction for people who have already opted in with the managed payments? Like, so is there no more PayPal debit card? Like, so money's not going into your PayPal account.
Right, your PayPal is empty.
We love our PayPal debit card to, like, just buy stuff. We no longer can probably do the PayPal capital loans.
I think there's going to be ways around it, but I don't know what they are.
And then, like, so is all the money put into your bank account every day?
No, it's not every day. I think it's like, I think they said on that email, it's like, or whatever, their frequently asked questions, it's like every 2 to 3 days, or I think, like, you can set it up. Hey, put this in every 2 to 3 days or once a week or something.
So then basically we'll get rid of the PayPal card probably, and then we'll just have our bank
card. Just use that. I mean,
and then can buyers still use PayPal? And
eventually,
does that money go into PayPal, or does the money go into the managed payments?
Well,
into our.
It's going to go. The way I believe it would work is it'll go into your managed payments, just like. But then you're like, is PayPal taking a cut and eBay taking a cut? You know what I mean?
Right. So if someone pays through PayPal through managed payments.
Does that go into your PayPal, or does it go into eBay and they both take a cut? Yeah. That has not been answered.
Yeah, and that's also someone was mentioning and being worried about, which I can understand. You know, right now eBay takes their cut on every sale, just kind of like automatically, like it just kind of comes out in a trickle.
eBay takes a cut, and then that shows up on your monthly invoice.
Right, your monthly invoice, and
right.
And then PayPal's just taking their
every
money,
transaction.
So you get this kind of big eBay bill at the end of the month for the final value fees.
Right.
But are they going to put the managed payment fees on top of that?
Right.
So your
bill is going to be like ridiculous.
Much more. Like, I kind of wish that they would just kind of take it out as it goes and not give you that big bill.
Yeah, because honestly, psychologically, it's not as bad.
Right.
You're like, oh, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I think we're good at, keeping all of our money in there and paying it off when we need to. But I can see people who aren't good at that, who are like pulling money out as it comes into their account. And then at the end of the month, eBay's like, okay, here's your
$3,000 bill.
Like, holy moly.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
I don't know. Yeah. Those are good questions. And, PayPal Working Capital, they also sent out an email this week I think, or someone linked to it, where they're like, oh, if you opt in to manage payments right now, you're breaking your working capital contract.
Right, and for anyone that doesn't, it's actually a cool program. So PayPal, they can see how much money is being made.
Right, because everything goes into PayPal.
So you can apply for...
It's not a loan.
I mean, it says it's a loan, but it's not really a loan. Like, it's a one-time fee.
Right.
To borrow X amount of dollars.
Right.
That they tell you. It's instant.
Right.
And it's really great. We've used it to, like, build that building behind there. And the way you pay it back is you can choose. I want to pay 10%, 20, 30% of my
sales
every month.
So every single sale, they take a percentage out.
Right. And it's actually kind of great,
It's kind of great.
And then it's as long as it takes to pay it off. I mean, they say there needs to be a certain... time frame, but it's not like it's got to get paid off in 6 months. So that's kind of nice.
You can also pay it off faster. Like there was one time where we're like, oh, we only owe a little bit amount over this next month. Let's just pay it and be done.
Right.
So that is an option.
Anyway, it's not to be a advertisement for them. It's just a nice program, and I'll be sad if we can't get access to it anymore. Because there's a loan that eBay says they're going to offer through managed payments and Square.
Oh, through
Capital.
Square. Okay, so it's similar.
That's going to be, they give you a chunk of change that they agree to, and then you have to pay it off in like 6 months.
Yeah,
so
it can't be longer.
If you take out a lot, they expect a big chunk of change every month, and basically it's like your whole nut every single month.
Yeah, and you're like, right.
Not good.
Yeah.
Okay, so how was our gut reaction to this week? We've kind of already talked about it.
Yeah, we kind of already talked about it before the podcast, but
it was good.
It bumped up, but there were a lot of requests for returns in this same amount of days. Like, I feel like our sales bumped up in the last 2 or 3 days, and I got like all these return requests. I'm like, ay.
So our numbers are basically steady.
Yeah.
Kind of what we've had all summer long. It's like summer sales. We made $1,500 gross. We sold 45 items. So it felt like, it's almost 7 items, 6 items a day.
Yeah.
It's good. And all kinds of wacky, weird stuff. Like all the losers in our store are selling.
Totally.
The ones losers. We love the losers.
I know, we do. I'm like, what?
Again, it's just so strange to me how... it's just like we get these consistent sales, like we're making about the same amount of money, and this is where people get into conspiracy theories about like eBay has someone checked out our store and said, okay, they're going to make this amount of money every week.
Someone's pulling a lever in the background.
Of course, it's not true, but it is interesting how consistent it can be when it is just totally random. Things we sold, talk about pottery stuff. We sold that flower. Yeah. It's just like really delicate, handmade, like
Italian ceramic, aka porcelain
flower that you put on your table. And there it is.
And it gathers dust.
Someone paid $150 for it. And this is like a table we bought actually a while ago, like a year ago, where we bought a bunch of these.
Yeah. There were like 8 of them.
And we've sold
I sold several of them.
We've sold like 3 or 4 of them.
They're the ugliest things ever, I will say.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, okay.
It's just a different style. But anyway, I'm glad that sold. We sold a print when we were in Amsterdam a long time.
A while ago, yeah.
I found we were like in a little bookstore, and he had these old books, and you could buy a page of a book
for €1.
Yeah, and I bought a couple of these. And
they're just weird.
There's like gorgeous prints,
like almost like etching. I mean, they are prints of etchings, but like real, like letterpress prints.
And it was like of these 2 little girls with like a bubble. They were
blowing bubbles.
It was like so futuristic, and I was gonna frame it, and then we were going through our stuff. I was like, I'll just sell it. Someone bought it for $80.
Like
amazing.
In a couple of days, I listed it, and within a couple of days,
I know people who focus on just selling ephemera.
Yeah,
photos, prints. there's so much money to be made in that.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny.
Although then you get into just like, stores of like 20,000 items because you're taking pictures of photos and posting.
Yeah, and you really have to have a good storage inventory system for that,
Customer issues. Yeah, we had 2 items, so we would have made more, like another couple $100, but 2 items were bought and not paid for. Well, actually, one just got paid for.
Just got paid for.
Only 1 item.
Well, what's tough is when you're about to travel and people give you offers like the day before. I've already changed my handling time, but I message them and I'm like, if you pay for this, I'll ship it before we leave. And then, of course, she's going back and forth at like midnight, like, oh, I didn't realize that you charged shipping. Can you do it free shipping? And I'm like, nope. And then she just paid 1 second ago, so I have to run out. It's like these 2 lamps. I'm like, oh my God. I did ship them though.
Just ship them for free. It's just free to ship. Just ship it for free. Like, who's gonna pay for it?
They're like, I didn't realize shipping wasn't included. I'm like, what? Like, how at this point in time are people just still saying that?
It's the Amazon lie, the free shipping fallacy.
I just say no. Yeah. Like, nope.
Customer issues continued, part 2. It's like you said, we've been having a steady stream of returns, although it returns often on just the cheapest,
the littlest things.
Items. Like someone returned these, like, what do you call them? Like,
oh my God, shoe stretchers. He couldn't figure out how to like make them stretch, and I sold them for $14 because they were on sale, and I opened the box and I was like, oh, maybe these like didn't work right. I figured it out in 1 second how to get it to stretch and stay open. Right, I'm like, really, dude? Oh my God. That was so annoying.
Anyway, it's just, look, I'm happy. Returns are just a normal way of life. I'm glad when they're only on $10 and $14 items, no problem. It's just the hard returns are when they're like the $300 items. It's like if that porcelain thing,
the $150,
that's the painful
It's just, it's
okay.
Tough.
Final thing, things we learned in the forum, other things. So there was an article in the Wall Street Journal about this couple who, this happens every so often.
Yeah.
Mainstream media article about some young couple who like make $1 billion selling on eBay, Amazon, wherever.
Yeah.
This is the latest couple to be highlighted, and they supposedly make like $500,000 a year selling on eBay and Amazon and selling wholesale and selling like courses. And we were just talking about the people who were doing it's mentorships. And so their thing is this: they sell 75 slots every 3 months. Okay. And each slot is like $300 and something.
Okay.
So if you do it's math on that, they make over $100,000 a year
on that type
just on mentorships. And one person in the forum said that they had actually signed up and tried it.
Okay.
And they said that basically they send you pre-recorded videos and materials, and then they'll answer your emails if you email them, and that's it. Like what a great thing for them.
Yeah.
But I always, and I guess the hook was, it's this fantasy of like wholesale. Like they promise you, we'll help you find 1 or 2, 3, 4 products
to wholesale to other people.
Well, I guess you just wholesale them on eBay. I mean, look. The fantasy of wholesale is like, I don't have to take pictures.
Right.
I don't have to work.
Right.
Like, oh, here's this thing in this factory. I'll put it on my Amazon eBay account. Yeah. People buy them, and then I just ship them from the warehouse, and it's like, done deal. It's like, Anyway, I just wonder how long that gravy train will keep going for them. Because, as we tell everyone in our podcast, like, I don't think you need to pay anyone to learn how to do this. Like, no one can tell you any secrets to selling online that you can't already find for free on the internet.
Well, for free, and also just try it, and you're going to learn really fast.
I mean, it's really just all about figuring out the basics.
Right.
And then just work. I mean, I don't know.
Just work. No, I mean, that's literally why we started the podcast, because people are always like, well, what's the, secret
if anyone
formula?
tells you,
like, there isn't one.
You can make X amount of dollars without doing any work. It's
is
just
a lie.
untrue. Even if you're selling drugs, illegal drugs,
you are going to
you still have to work at doing that.
It's a business.
Right.
You know?
You cannot get rid of the work, but you can at least make your own schedule.
Right.
And you have the choice to buy and sell items that you enjoy being around.
Yeah.
That's the only promise that we make.
Right.
And like we always say, just work for it yourself like you work for somebody else.
Put the time in.
But I don't know. I guess it's just like those courses are really addictive. Like people who buy, tickets, like
lottery tickets.
Look,
I just think also with articles like that, a lot of people tend to send them to us because they're like, hey, look at this example. This is kind of like you guys. And we're like, no, stop. Don't. Yeah. No. Like my mom will send it to me and other
the guy's
people
driving a Tesla and I'm like, I want to drive a Tesla.
It just stuff like that just drives me a little nuts because I'm just like, that's just it's not what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know?
It's okay.
Yeah.
I just feel bad that, I don't know, when people, because I bet the people that fall for that are the people who are really struggling and really do need help. And they want help and they want quick help. And unfortunately, the answer is there is no quick help, to get rich.
Or to just have a sustainable business.
Yeah. I will say, this year we've gone to several kind of paid courses. Not for eBay.
For a different
for development, like retail development. Real estate development.
Like small real estate,
And for us, so I do understand about professional improvement.
Right. Learning about how to do something.
For us, it's always about face-to-face, and often it's more about meeting other people who are doing the same thing versus what the teachers are trying to teach you.
Right. I mean, we've felt that way when we've studied small real estate development at times where we're like, what they're telling us in this course doesn't really go with what we're doing. At this, moment, not all of it, but then you turn to the person next to you and you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And you meet a friend for life that's doing something similar and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, sure.
And I think that we're always, what we have to always do is just to make sure any course that we do take, we do our due diligence,
Yeah.
Don't just go by what they say on their website. Ask around, do some research, see if the people who are teaching it are actually for real people, that it's all coming from a good place, And if anyone says you can get rich quick,
they're lying.
They're lying to you.
End of story. Yeah. Any business, they're lying.
But this is one promise I will make to you. Sell trash.
And be free.
Be free.
Yeah. Okay, moving on.
Okay, let's answer any questions that got sent to us.
Okay.
Hey, Jay. Hey, Ryan. This is Sigilini. Jay, you always struggle with my nickname, but it's Sigilini from California. So I want to clarify the issue with the Parcel Select and Retail Ground. Parcel Select is no longer the cheapest option for ground for large, lightweight items. So if you have anything that is over 12 by 12 by 12 and it's relatively lightweight, it is now double the price it used to be. So if you have Parcel Select as your first option, your buyers will see the cost of shipping when they click on your item. And it'll show a really high price, particularly if you're like me in the West Coast or the East Coast and you're shipping across country. So if you have a lightweight item, it could be $58 Parcel Select to ship across the country. If you want your buyer to see the lower shipping rates, you can offer Retail Ground. Retail Ground is half the price of Parcel Select. However, you cannot purchase Retail Ground on eBay, PayPal, Pirate Ship, and I suspect others. So you can offer it, but as a seller, you cannot buy it online. You have to go to the post office with your item and purchase it there, come back home and insert the tracking on your shipment. However, if you go with FedEx home delivery, those rates are comparable to retail ground. And you can buy those on eBay, but you still have to take it somewhere and drop it off. So I hope that makes sense. I know it's confusing. It confused the heck out of me. I was so confused. But now I have to go through all my items and choose the ones that I know are heavier, are larger than lightweight, and go in and change my parcel select option to retail ground if I don't want it to look like it's $75 to ship across the states when it's really only $34 or only $26 or only $19 as opposed to $58 or $60, which is crazy. All right, hope that helps. Take care, you guys. Thanks for everything you do. Bye-bye.
So I hadn't noticed that because I think most of my bigger, anything over a 12 by 12 and like anything bigger, I think FedEx on it. So I actually haven't, this thing on the forum was happening. Jay's forwarding me emails and he's like, "What? Have you noticed this?" And I'm like, "No, because I just don't have that option for that stuff." So,
why do you think the post office would do that?
I have no idea why all of a sudden that changed. That's so weird to me.
Trying to stay relevant or something.
Relevant by charging double? That doesn't make any sense. And also, like, the thing that's dumb is that you can offer retail, whatever it's called, retail ground, but it's retail, so you have to go to the post office. Right. You're like, this isn't.
So it's cheaper if you go to the post office.
That's what she's saying.
But
like,
it's more.
You can offer a cheaper option, but then she's saying FedEx Home or FedEx Ground is as cheap as retail ground.
Right.
But then you still have to drop it off. You can open a FedEx business. I was able to open a FedEx business account. Like, this is my business. It's at my house. They pick up at my house if I request it. So you guys can try it. I don't know if it's because I'm in a rural area and they don't care and they want pickups for.
But I will say that, this is just the kind of thing that seems to happen is that, a shipping always kind of changes a little bit. It's like we're on these waves, and you just have to kind of go with the flow.
No, and I understand the frustration because you're like, now all my listings that have that. Now, if you have business policies, you can just go in and change it.
Yep.
You can just be like, okay, anything that had parcel, blah, 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 just change it to FedEx ground. It's not always that easy because, I know that's frustrating. But thank you for clarifying that and clarifying your nickname.
Yep.
Sigillini. Sounds like a kind of Italian pasta. Yeah. Sounds delicious.
Hi, my name's Andrew, and I'm from Denton, Texas. And in your latest episode, you said, is anybody still doing retail arbitrage? Yes, I am. Is anybody making money in it? Kind of. I work pretty hard at it. In fact, I was listening to your show while I was sourcing. I mainly do groceries, and yeah, it works. Oh, your guy on the forums who was talking about how Amazon will just kind of randomly come along and say, hey, present us proof. No, he's confused. They will come along if there are complaints about your product. I have had that happen before. I have provided a receipt, not an invoice from a wholesaler, and it has been accepted. Amazon will accept receipts. They don't explicitly say retail arbitrage is cool, everybody go out and do it, but they know how the bread gets buttered. What you're going to get suspended for is going to be things like selling used product as new, and it's actually legitimately used product. I've had that before, and it was just the packaging is crap and falls apart if you ship it. They ship 15 of them fine. The 16th one, somebody complains. So far they've been very reasonable with me. Doing well enough at it that I haven't had to go back to a day job. I've been retired now for 15 months, and I have an employee who helps me almost every day if he doesn't call in sick. All right. Hey, I love you. Bye-bye.
Well, cool. Thank you so much. I mean, see, I love hearing that kind of information, like word on the street,
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's still possible to do a retail arbitrage on Amazon, but that it still work.
Well, look, I love that he said that because that's exactly what we were just talking about, where he's like, I work really hard at it.
Right.
Exactly.
And I guess my follow-up question to this man in Denton, Texas, that's where I was born.
Jay was born in Denton, Texas?
When my parents were going to grad school at North Texas. Would you do this if you, or is it safe to like build a larger business around this? Like, would you feel comfortable getting employees in a warehouse and like having all this infrastructure around Amazon? Does it feel that stable, or do you just feel good about it because it's just you doing it? And if they decided to bring the hammer down, well, it's just you would just put your labor someplace else. That's my question.
I mean, I think that's something everyone worries about with Amazon or with eBay. You know, they have the control over everything.
And it's just so amazing to me that people can make a living by doing arbitrage. You know, they're going to Target or Walmart or wherever, finding some weird, like, this guy says, like a food item, like
it's a
some
grocery
Kraft macaroni and cheese
that's only at your store,
that's like 50 cents cheaper, and you send it into Amazon and make, you know, it's just it's incredible to me.
But like he said,
and it's so smart.
Well, it's work, and also like it's just like anything that we're doing too, where you have to figure out what works. Like, you can't just be like, I'll just buy whatever.
I think what's different, and why in some ways I'm just kind of amazed by guys like this, is that your competition is Walmart
and Target.
And all those people. Like, you're going head to head and you're winning. And that's so awesome.
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
We have chosen to sell stuff that a reason why I feel safe is because I'm selling stuff that no one else, like, I'm not competing against them. I'm just selling against other sellers.
People, of weird little things. But okay, thank you for that call. That was great. Okay, that is it for the podcast this week. You can check out our blog at scavengerlife.com for the links we discussed and to join the conversation on the forum. You can call and leave a question on our voicemail line. The phone number is 540-407-8486. We post an episode every Monday morning. On Wednesday, we post a What Sells video by Stephen Schultz. You can subscribe to our Patreon account and support us for as little as $5 a month. You can subscribe to us through iTunes or YouTube for free, so you always get the latest episode. Check out the link to our rental, our brand new rental. It's available. You can rent it. You can also listen to our other podcast where my sister Ashley and I talk about Airbnb and short-term rentals. We have a lot of fun. I'm about to edit a brand new episode of that. That's at shampooandbooze.com. We're ending this podcast in 3, 2, 1. Bye.